During last lecture, we have discussed about the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process. Now next point is physical properties of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is colorless, dense and oily liquid. Its density is, of course, it is greater than water. Actually, density of water is considered as 1 gram per cubic centimeter at 298 Kelvin, but density of sulfuric acid is 1.84 gram per cubic centimeter at 298 Kelvin. Its freezing point is 283 Kelvin, and this sulfuric acid boils at 611 Kelvin, and it is highly corrosive liquid. Now as soon as it comes in contact with any metal or any active element, then it oxidizes that particular element. It is corrosive. Sulfuric acid is highly corrosive liquid. These are the physical properties. Now chemical properties of sulfuric acid. First of all, acidic property of sulfuric acid. As all we know, sulfuric acid, it is a king of chemical and it is strong acid. So when sulfuric acid is added in water, then by primary dissociation there is a formation of hydronium ion and hydrogen sulfate ion. Actually H3O plus, how it forms? H2SO4 first of all dissociate and forms H plus and HSO4 minus. HSO4 or this H plus combines with H2O and there is a formation of H3O plus. This is hydronium ion which is responsible for acidity. So dissociation constant for this reaction, it is greater than 10, and therefore sulfuric acid is very strong acid. You know that greater the value of K, greater is the acidity. Now this is the secondary dissociation. This HSO4 minus, which is formed in step 1, it further dissociates in water. Again HSO4 minus gives H plus plus SO4 minus minus, that is sulfate ion. That H plus combines with water and there is a formation of H3O plus, and this H3O plus again it is responsible for acidity, and this is the secondary dissociation. And for this second step, dissociation constant is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 2. So dissociation constant for second step is less than that for first step, and therefore we can say that the HSO4 minus, it is weaker acid than H2SO4. So these two reactions indicates that sulfuric acid is a strong acid and dissociation takes place in 2 steps. Then oxidizing property of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is oxidizing agent, act as an oxidizing agent. Already I told you, as soon as it comes in contact with metal, it oxidizes metal into its salt. For example, copper, when comes in contact with concentrated sulfuric acid, there is an oxidation of copper into copper sulfate. Oxidation state of pure copper is 0, and in copper sulfate oxidation state of copper ion, it is plus 2. So there is an increase in oxidation number, hence there is an oxidation of copper, and in this reaction sulfuric acid act as a oxidizing agent. Simultaneously there is a formation of sulfur dioxide and water. Not only it oxidizes the metals, but it also oxidizes non-metal as well. So sulfuric acid, when comes in contact with sulfur, there is an oxidation of sulfur into sulfur dioxide. Here oxidation state of sulfur is, pure sulfur is 0, and in SO2 oxidation state is plus 4. Again there is an increase in oxidation number of sulfur, hence sulfur, it is oxidized, and in this reaction, sulfuric acid act as a oxidizing agent. Similarly, it oxidizes carbon. Sulfuric acid oxidizes carbon into carbon dioxide. Simultaneously, there is a formation of sulfur dioxide and water. Hence, sulfuric acid, it is oxidizing agent, strong oxidizing agent, and it oxidizes metals as well as non-metals. Now, dehydrating property of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, when comes in contact with any substance, it takes out water from that substance. For example, when sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid is added in sugar, C12H22O11, means this is the cane sugar. When some concentrated sulfuric acid is added in sugar, then there is a charring of this sugar, and this sugar gets converted into charcoal. Now from sugar, water is taken out, 11 water molecules are removed by this sulfuric acid, and this sugar gets converted into sugar charcoal. So this reaction proves that sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent. Then reaction of sulfuric acid with salts. Sulfuric acid react with sodium chloride, and there is a formation of sodium hydrogen sulfate. At the same time, we get HCl, hydrochloric acid. Similarly, it reacts with another salt, that is potassium nitrate, and there is a formation of potassium hydrogen sulfate plus nitric acid. It also reacts with another salt like calcium fluoride, and calcium fluoride gets converted into calcium sulfate plus HF. So this is about the reaction of sulfuric acid with salts. Now, what are the uses of sulfuric acid? Sulfuric acid plays very important role in the manufacture of fertilizers. For example, in the manufacture of ammonium sulfate and superphosphate, there is a use of sulfuric acid. In the manufacture of pigments, paints and dyestuff intermediates, there is a use of sulfuric acid. In the petroleum refining also, sulfuric acid plays very important role. In detergent industry, sulfuric acid is required. In metallurgical process, especially for the cleaning of metal surfaces or electroplating and galvanization process, there is a requirement of sulfuric acid. In lead storage battery, sulfuric acid, 12% sulfuric acid, it is used as a electrolyte. It also acts as a dehydrating agent and oxidizing agent. So these are the some uses of sulfuric acid. Actually, sulfuric acid plays very important role in chemical industry. Almost in all reactions there is a need of sulfuric acid. Now next point is chlorine and compounds of chlorine. First of all, the preparation of chlorine, that is Cl2. So chlorine is prepared by the oxidation of hydrochloric acid. For example, when oxidizing agent like manganese dioxide is added to hydrochloric acid, then this hydrochloric acid gets oxidized and there is a formation of chlorine. So in HCl, oxidation number of Cl is -1 and in Cl2 it is 0, and therefore there is a oxidation of HCl into Cl2, and here manganese dioxide act as an oxidizing agent. So hydrochloric acid, when treated with suitable oxidizing agent like manganese dioxide, there is a evolution of chlorine gas. Similarly, when potassium permanganate, it is also another oxidizing agent. when it is added in hydrochloric acid, there is a evolution of chlorine gas. So here again HCl gets oxidized into Cl2, and additionally there is a formation of other byproducts, that is KCl, MnCl2 and H2O. But here again KMnO4 acts as oxidizing agent, it oxidizes HCl and there is a evolution of chlorine. So in this way chlorine is prepared by the action of suitable oxidizing agent like manganese dioxide or potassium permanganate on hydrochloric acid. Another way is by the action of sulfuric acid on mixture of sodium chloride and manganese dioxide. So in this reaction, mixture of sodium chloride and manganese dioxide is taken and slowly sulfuric acid is added to that. Actually this reaction takes place in two steps. In step 1, first of all, the sodium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid and there is a formation of hydrochloric acid. Along with we get sodium hydrogen sulfate. But here one important product is formed, that is hydrochloric acid. Now as soon as this hydrochloric acid is formed, it reacts with manganese dioxide, and manganese dioxide is an oxidizing agent that already I explained here. It acts as an oxidizing agent and it oxidizes hydrochloric acid into chlorine. So in step 1 there is a formation of hydrochloric acid which is oxidized by manganese dioxide by second step. So manganese dioxide which is present in mixture, it combines with hydrochloric acid which is formed in step 1 and there is a formation of chlorine gas. Now overall reaction is addition of these two steps. When we add these two steps, these 4HCl, 4HCl, they cancel with each other and therefore net reaction will be 4NaCl plus 4H2SO4 plus MnO2 gives 4NaHSO4 plus MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. So in this way, when mixture of sodium chloride and manganese dioxide is treated with sulfuric acid, when concentrated sulfuric acid is added in this mixture, there is a evolution of chlorine gas. So this is another reaction. Now manufacture of chlorine on bulk level, it is done by Decon process. Decon process means oxidation of hydrochloric acid by oxygen. Now here when HCl is oxidized by using air or oxygen in presence of copper chloride at 723 Kelvin, there is a evolution of chlorine gas. Very simple reaction. Another important method is electrolysis process. By this process, by electrolysis of brine is a aqueous solution of sodium chloride. So by electrolysis of brine, there is a liberation of chlorine at anode. For example, in this reaction, in this electrolytic process, one non-conducting vessel is taken. In that non-conducting vessel, brine solution is filled. Brine solution means aqueous sodium chloride. Now 2 electrodes are dipped in this brine solution. These 2 electrodes are connected by means of DC source. The electrode which is connected to positive terminal act as anode, and which is connected to negative terminal act as cathode. And as soon as electric current is passed, there is a evolution of chlorine at anode and there is a formation of NaOH at cathode. Now here first of all there is a dissociation of NaCl, aqueous NaCl, and there is a formation of Na plus and Cl minus. Cl minus are migrated towards anode and this is the reaction takes place at anode. So Cl minus gets converted into Cl plus electron. Now 2 chlorine atoms combine and there is a formation of Cl2. At cathode there is a reduction of water and we get OH minus, and this OH minus joins with Na plus and there is a formation of NaOH at cathode. Now next point is physical properties of chlorine. So chlorine is greenish yellow gas at room temperature. It is having pungent and suffocating odor. It is poisonous, and liquid chlorine boils at 293 Kelvin. Chlorine dissolves in water and there is a formation of chlorine water. Actually this chlorine water, it is one of the reagent for qualitative analysis. Chlorine is heavier than air. Chlorine gas, it is heavier than air, and therefore as soon as chlorine is leak in air, it settle on the floor. Now next point, chemical properties of chlorine. First reaction is reaction of chlorine with metals. So chlorine reacts with metals, most of the active metals, and there is a formation of corresponding chlorides. For example, when chlorine comes in contact with aluminium, there is a formation of aluminium chloride. Similarly, when chlorine comes in contact with sodium metal, there is a formation of sodium chloride salt. When chlorine comes in contact with iron metal, then there is a formation of ferric chloride as a salt. So in this way, metals react with chlorine and there is a formation of corresponding salts. Chlorine also react with nonmetals and there is a formation of chlorides. So next point is reaction with nonmetals. So it forms chlorides. For example, phosphorus reacts with chlorine. There is a formation of phosphorus trichloride. Similarly, sulfur reacts with chlorine. These are the nonmetals. Phosphorus and sulfur, these are the nonmetals. Sulfur exists as a octatomic molecule, S8. Phosphorus exists as a tetraatomic molecule, that is P4. So sulfur reacts with chlorine and there is a formation of disulfur dichloride, S2Cl2, disulfur dichloride. So chlorine has an affinity towards hydrogen. So when chlorine reacts with hydrogen, there is a formation of hydrogen chloride. For example, when mixture of hydrogen and chlorine is in this mixture, when there is a trace quantity of moisture, then hydrogen reacts with chlorine and there is a formation of hydrogen chloride, that is HCl. So once reaction is started, then this reaction is very fast, but in order to initiate this reaction there is a need of moisture. Similarly, chlorine reacts with hydrogen sulfide and there is a formation of HCl. So the chlorine has affinity towards hydrogen, it reacts with hydrogen and forms HCl, and there is a oxidation of sulfur. So here sulfur is in -2 oxidation state, -2, and elemental sulfur is in 0 oxidation state. So there is an increase in oxidation number and therefore there is a oxidation of H2S into sulfur. So here important thing is chlorine has affinity towards hydrogen. It combines with hydrogen and forms HCl. Then reaction with ammonia. Chlorine also reacts with ammonia. For example, when excess of ammonia is mixed with chlorine gas, there is a formation of ammonium chloride solid. Actually ammonia is a gas, chlorine is also gas. Ammonium chloride is a solid. So there is a white fumes of ammonium chloride. Simultaneously there is a evolution of nitrogen gas. On the other hand, when ammonia is mixed with excess of chlorine, there is a formation of nitrogen trichloride. nitrogen trichloride and hydrochloric acid. This nitrogen trichloride, it is an explosive. So in this way, chlorine reacts with metals and forms corresponding chlorides. It reacts with non-metals. There is a formation of non-metal chlorides. It has affinity towards hydrogen and it forms hydrochloric acid or hydrogen chloride. Chlorine also reacts with ammonia. When excess ammonia is there, we get ammonium chloride, and when excess chlorine is there, we get nitrogen trichloride as an explosive. Now next, reaction with alkali. Alkali means dilute solution of base. Now when cold and dilute sodium hydroxide through this solution, when chlorine gas is passed through cold and dilute sodium hydroxide solution, there is a formation of sodium hypochlorite, NaOCl, one of the important compound. Actually it is a oxidizing agent, NaOCl, sodium hypochlorite. Simultaneously we get NaCl plus H2O. When chlorine gas is passed through hot and concentrated sodium hydroxide, then there is a formation of sodium chlorate, NaClO3, as a major product. Simultaneously we get NaCl and water. So here two options are there. When chlorine gas is passed through cold and dilute NaOH, we get sodium hypochlorite, NaOCl. On the other hand, when chlorine gas is passed through hot and concentrated NaOH, instead of sodium hypochlorite, there is a formation of sodium chlorate, NaClO3. So this is the difference between these two reactions. Similarly, when chlorine is allowed to react with dry slacked lime, that is dry calcium hydroxide. Actually calcium hydroxide, when comes in contact with moisture, when water is added in this, we get lime water. But calcium hydroxide free from water, that is dry slacked lime, it reacts with chlorine and there is a formation of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is also one of the best oxidizing agent, and simultaneously we get calcium chloride and water. So this is the reaction with alkali. Chlorine reacts with hot and cold NaOH, dilute and concentrated NaOH. These are the sodium hydroxide is also aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide is alkali, whereas calcium hydroxide also reacts with chlorine and we get bleaching powder. Now reaction of chlorine with hydrocarbon. So hydrocarbon may be saturated or unsaturated. Chlorine reacts with saturated hydrocarbon like methane, ethane, like that, and there is a substitution of one or more hydrogen atoms of this hydrocarbon and we get alkyl halide. That is methane, when mixed with chlorine gas in presence of UV light, one by one there is a substitution of hydrogen atom by chlorine, and first of all we get methyl chloride. Methyl chloride also further converted into dichloromethane, then chloroform, then carbon tetrachloride, and so on. So in this way chlorine substitutes hydrogen atom of saturated hydrocarbon. So chlorine also react with unsaturated hydrocarbon like ethene. When ethene mixed with chlorine gas, then there is an addition of two chlorine atoms across the carbon-carbon double bond. So whenever there is a double bond in organic compound, that double bond containing organic compound undergoes addition reaction. So there is an addition of chlorine across the carbon-carbon double bond and we get 1,2-dichloroethane. So in this way chlorine reacts with saturated hydrocarbon as well as unsaturated hydrocarbon, and we get the organic compound containing chlorine, that is halogen derivatives. This is monohalogen derivative, this is dihalogen derivative. Now next is oxidizing property of chlorine. Chlorine is well-known oxidizing agent, and when chlorine comes in contact with salt, ferrous sulfate, then it converts ferrous sulfate into ferric sulfate, and in this reaction chlorine acts as an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes ferrous ion, that is Fe2+, which is present in ferrous sulfate. This ferrous ion, it is converted into ferric ion. Similarly, when chlorine comes in contact with sodium sulfite, it converts sodium sulfite into sodium sulfate. Now in this reaction, oxidation state of sulfur in sodium sulfite, it is +4, and after reaction there is a formation of sodium sulfate. Oxidation state of sulfur here, it is +6. There is an increase in oxidation number, hence there is an oxidation of sulfur, and in this reaction chlorine acts as a oxidizing agent. So chlorine, aqueous solution of sodium sulfite, when mixed with chlorine there is a formation of sodium sulfate. Similarly, when chlorine is mixed with the sulfur dioxide gas in presence of water, then this sulfur dioxide in aqueous medium gets converted into H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So there is a oxidation of SO2 into sulfuric acid. Again here oxidation state of sulfur in SO2, it is +4, and in H2SO4 it is +6. There is oxidation of sulfur. So in this reaction chlorine also acts as a oxidizing agent. Chlorine also oxidizes iodine into iodic acid. So iodine, when mixed with chlorine in presence of water, then iodine gets converted into iodic acid, HiO3. So in iodine, oxidation state is 0. Oxidation state of iodine is 0. In iodic acid, oxidation state of iodine is +5. Again there is an increase in oxidation number. So there is an oxidation of iodine, and in this reaction chlorine acts as an oxidizing agent, itself undergoes reduction. So these various reactions prove that chlorine is an oxidizing agent. Then bleaching property of chlorine. So moist chlorine acts as a bleaching agent, and this is the reaction how it acts as a bleaching agent. When chlorine comes in contact with water, there is a formation of HCl and hypochlorous acid, HOCl. So this hypochlorous acid decomposes and there is a formation of nascent oxygen, and this nascent oxygen, it is responsible for decolorization of colored matter. So colored matter, when comes in contact with nascent oxygen, we get colorless matter. In this way chlorine acts as a bleaching agent. And at the end, what are the uses of chlorine? Chlorine is used in the purification of drinking water. It acts as a bleaching agent, and as a bleaching agent it is used in paper industry, textile industry. It is used in the extraction and purification of copper and platinum. So it is used in the manufacture of dye, drugs, carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, DDT and refrigerant, and it is also used in the preparation of some poisonous gases like phosgene, COCl2, tear gas, mustard gas, etc. So in this way chlorine is having these many uses.